Thanks so much. With me now, he is the U.S. Navy retired Rear Admiral Mark Montgomery, Executive Director at the U.S. Cyberspace Solarium Commission, Senior Director at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. Thanks for being in with us tonight. When you walked in and I said, what's your takeaway? You said to me, you thought we dodged a bullet. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Blake. And, I think we dodged a bullet because, look, Putin got a big gain from just having the diplomatic rollout, having the recognition. But I think the president showed discipline, President Trump did, in not grabbing whatever deal was on the table, instead recognizing that he wasn't in a position, without a ceasefire in place, he really wasn't in a position to get an agreement on land swaps or security conditions after a ceasefire. So in that regards, I think we dodged the bullet of the president getting, not being disciplined and beginning to work a deal with Putin without Zelensky and the Europeans in the room.
So here was the president earlier today on this concept of land swaps, and then we'll get to it on the other side.
They'll be discussed, but I've got to let Ukraine make that decision. And I think they'll make a proper decision. But I'm not here to negotiate for Ukraine. I'm here to get him at a table. If I wasn't president, he would right now be taking all of Ukraine. But he's not going to do it.
Right move there to not discuss that?
That's correct. What Putin's asking for, I spent a lot of time in Ukraine advising their military. They cannot give up these kind of citadels, the 3 or 4 hard points they have right now in Donetsk that are preventing the Russians from getting through. So the decision on land swaps is something that really Zelensky has to figure out. What does Ukraine's defense look like 1, 2, 3, and 4 years from now? That's not a decision for the United States.
So what do you think he does, Zelensky?
So I think that Zelensky goes to the president and says, look, Putin flew home. While he was flying home, his troops reinitiated contact, combat along the line of contact. I suspect in the next 24, 48 hours, there'll be cruise and ballistic missile attacks. If there aren't, Robert Sherman was reporting they might be coming now.
So just escalation.
Escalation. And so if I were Zelensky, I'd go back to the president and say, look, before this summit, you were ready to put sanctions, secondary sanctions on India, China, and Turkey. Let's go back to that, because that kind of pressure is what breaks the Russian war machine.
Yeah, but if Trump hears that from Zelensky, that's not going to make him move one way or the other. That's a domestic decision, not a Ukrainian decision.
But to me, it's the decision that breaks Russia. The one he can do that is more germane to Ukraine would be a request for some offensive weapons. We're at that point now where, not that the United States gives them, but the United States allows Europe to purchase them from U.S. stocks. And I'm specifically thinking about the ATACMS missile, which he's down to a handful of. President Biden never let him use them properly. If President Trump gives them the weapons, gives them the proper, lack of restrictions to use them effectively, that can really put some pressure on Putin.
When Putin's flying back to Russia right now, let me leave you with this, and he sort of sits back and thinks about what happens, and he goes, wait a minute, they flew a B-2 bomber over my head at a moment in time.
Yeah.
What do you think he sort of takes away from that?
That might take a little bit of the icing off the cake of, okay. I got this red carpet, but while I was on the red carpet
they sent the B-2 over my head. Right.
So a little bit of the icing's off the cake, but there's still a cake there, which is for the first time in 5 years, I was in the United States. I was meeting with the U.S. president. Okay. For the first time in longer than that, I was in the United States. That's a diplomatic win for him.
All right. Admiral, we'll leave it there. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks for coming in tonight. All right. When we return on the other side, when 2 world leaders like Trump, like Zelensky, get together, the world watches. And